Hey detectives, welcome to the crew. I'm Sea Lord Janda, and this is my Let's Play of Disco Elysium. In the last episode, we got ourselves a new house in this fishing village over here. And now we are, well, I've actually been told this guy's one more story, so we're going to talk to Idiot Doom Spiral one more time. And then we're going to head out of the village to the north and see what else there is over here.
Tequila Sunset.
What's up, Idiot Doom Spiral? I need one bottle of booze.
The legend returns. You know the dance. Smokable smokes, pissable pilsner. Drink it, then convert it to piss. And there's spirits and speed. Bottoms up, Captain.
There you go, Idiot Doom Spiral.
Tequila Sunset. Of course. Drink first, not much, but it will do. This last one is the most Martinet story I've ever heard.
He takes an almost comically long swig. Thus fortified, he continues. Hold on. Okay, there we go. I was only getting audio in my right ear for some reason. Maybe you guys were too. I don't know how that'll come through on the recording.
I've never heard it mentioned outside of here. At first, I thought it was a joke, to be honest. But I've been on the coast 8, 9 months now, and in that time I've seen at least 3 expeditions come through, searching for something.
Okay,
A shovel
expeditions.
hits the sand somewhere behind the reeds, near an abandoned construction yard. The young men look over their shoulders suspiciously. The sound of their digging seems loud in the sudden silence.
Cryptids?
Magic animals? No, man, this is serious stuff.
Your lost keys.
Hey! Fuck you, Tequila.
Says his voice level. A place to call home?
No, Tequila. Most people already know where they live. It's guys like you and me that are the exceptions.
Alright, what kind of
All
expeditions? then?
kinds. I've seen archaeologists, gangsters, even a bunch of ad agency types. I'm telling you, Tequila, this thing's got a pull on certain kinds of people.
What do you mean, certain kinds
You
of people?
know, obsessive types. People with predilections.
What exactly are we talking about here?
Some of those expeditions come back after a week or so, looking haggard and dejected. Others don't return at all.
Very
The
dramatic.
first time I saw one of these expeditions, I thought they were fucking with me. There was no way it could be true. It was just too high concept, even for me. I'm not even sure I should be telling you this story, to be perfectly honest. You're in a fragile state, and it might be too much for you to handle.
I can handle it. Come on, Idiot
Okay,
Doom Spiral.
fine, I'll tell you. But I'm warning you, it's pretty out there. Our story begins at a legendary design studio, right here in Martinez. There was this designer. His exact name is lost to history, but in life, he was a legend. Made it big in Aranya, where he did some real pioneering work on grotesque and sans serif typography. A fucking genius, man. That is, if he even existed. Who knows? It's an urban legend, after all. Anyway, sometime later, he started his own personal studio here in Martinez. And that's when he started working on some really wild stuff. I'm talking some glass-smooth, forward-looking design language, the kind of thing that would totally overthrow the old regime, design-wise.
A
Okay.
paradigm-shattering revolutionary?
Of architecture? Alright.
But then something turned. You see, it's widely known that nose candy and pioneer graphic design work go hand in hand.
It's not even architecture, it's just graphic design. And he's doing coke. So what happened to him?
You've got to understand, the work this guy was doing was so high concept that regular amounts of cocaine just weren't cutting it. By the end, they were bringing it in by the lorry load. Now, as you might imagine, Snorting that much cocaine can't be healthy for a regular human, right?
Yes.
Wrong. It's super healthy. Your brain tells you so.
Oh no.
And when has your own brain ever lied to you?
Just right then, electrochemistry.
Hey, Tequila, pay attention. The story goes that one day he was balls deep in work on what he thought would be his pièce de résistance, an advert so minimal it contained neither text nor images, just pure white.
That doesn't sound
Apparently the idea was too high concept even for this genius. He dropped dead right at his desk before he could finish. His last words are recorded to have been, "It's as white as a blizzard of cocaine."
What a tragic loss for the world of design.
I know, Tequila. I know.
Takes a swig, considers pouring some out for this lost genius, then thinks better of it.
But the story doesn't end there. Supposedly, when they performed the autopsy, the coroner discovered nearly a quarter kilo of coke jammed into his nasal cavity.
Don't think that's physical.
That's almost certainly anatomically impossible. Wrong again, nerd.
Oh,
Where there's a will, there's a way.
okay,
That's
electrochemistry.
right. 250 grams of blow had accumulated in there over the years. We're talking high-grade Saramaritian pure. Not that cut-rate shit your grandma does. There are those who believe the designer was buried with this quarter key of nose candy still lodged in his sinuses. That's what those expeditions are looking for.
Why would he be buried with a quarter kilo of...
The
All right.
cocaine skull.
The cocaine skull.
The cocaine skull.
Why do they think it's here?
Here's the kicker. This designer, this lead designer of a world-famous design studio, was born in Martinez. A local boy, Martin Martinez. That's why he brought his studio here, back to where it all began. And that's why they buried him here, too. Perhaps right under Ab's pipe there.
He points to the pipe.
Or probably further down the coast, or in some yard in Martinez proper. A hidden mausoleum. No one knows exactly.
I see.
No, my grandma always told me his grave lay somewhere on the islets on the bay.
This is ludicrous and physically impossible. Sinuses can contain that amount of anything.
I tend to
My
agree,
only
Kim.
question is, where does one get a shovel?
What do these expeditions plan to do with it?
The archaeologists say they want to put it in a museum. The gangsters say they want to sell it on the black market. And the ad agency guys say they're seeking inspiration.
Bullshit. They just want to snort it. But you could beat them to it, Harry. You could snort the magic skull cocaine instead.
I don't think I want
I'm
to,
pretty
electrochemistry.
sure they all just want to snort it, though.
And why wouldn't they, eh? Sounds like right strong stuff.
You said something about islets?
Don't listen to him or his grandma. He's just making things up.
No, my grandma told me. I've heard other people say it too. That it's underwater. Or no, maybe it was the storm sewers.
Or maybe it's in the air. Or in an ancient step pyramid offshore.
You learned anything from the other expeditions?
They're pretty vague about it in general. The gangsters like to claim they're looking for the grave of a friend, with picks and shovels. The archaeologists act all official about it, saying they're conducting serious research. Honestly, I think they're not really scientists, just rich. The junkies, for some reason, are pretty upfront about it. They just say they're looking to snort some blow out of a dead man's nasal cavity.
Fair enough.
Honest men on an honest quest. You should join them.
By now, I'd say I know about as much about it as anyone on the coast.
Let us not
Good thing,
go looking
because
for
I don't
a
think you can
cocaine
find it
skull.
right now anyway.
What?
Why not?
For one, the way is blocked by that big lorry that says Delta Logistics Company on the side. You definitely have to search the area behind that lorry too, yet it is impassable. And
Logical.
second, outfitting an expedition like that is expensive. It'd have to be a big production to do the cocaine skull justice. You need new gear, people who know what they're doing, all kinds of provisions. It's just not feasible within the economic and temporal frame of our current setup. Matter of fact, unless a bunch of money just falls out of the sky, we might never know what's up with that skull.
I
What a
have to
shame.
agree. We barely have what we need to solve the case we've got now. We can't afford to run around chasing after quasi-mythical pieces of drug paraphernalia. Besides, it would look extremely bad for the RCM to be caught up in something that has the word cocaine writ large on it. The PR is tricky on this.
The PR's not great, Kim, I've got to be honest. What a shame.
Wait, maybe there's another way. Maybe up around the coast? Don't give up now.
Yeah, well, that's the reality situation for you. Who knows, though? Maybe someday we'll get our chance.
Is that it?
Not that I can think of, currently.
Well, you've been drinking a
That
lot, makes
might
sense.
be the case. Yes.
Okay, be seeing you. What's this? Oh, we've completed White Morning. All of the images are just terrifying. The little guy gets smaller and smaller as you rise above the dollhouse world. You see him out in the snow, on the streets, in the shop on the corner, and finally in a matchbox house, sitting by the window, white flowers on the windowsill. You can smell them from up here, it's awful. A white morning, a modern death, divorce, or something similar. All you can do is put more distance between you and him, make him smaller, make him less you. Plus 20% zoom out distance, and all motor learning caps raised by 1. Wait, that's actually good. I think that's a good thought. We should hold on to that. What should we get next? Not that we can afford to get anything. I feel like self-critique is just going to end badly, but maybe not. This I don't need. This maybe I should need. I feel like it could actually be handy. This, I don't really know what this is going to do for me, but... Fairweather or the 15th Indo tribe might be next. Or finger pistols. But we're out of skill points anyway for now. So. It is snowing. I mean, the ground has actually changed colors and everything. That's handy. Fancy. Alright, so up beyond the village we go. Stick to the side or stick to the coast? I can't really tell where on this map we are. I guess the shacks are here where this giant egg used to be? None of this is really here, is it? Must be off-screen to the bottom here. A little black swallow circles above you. You hear it chirrup. There's several, in fact. Okay, yeah, this is kind of... looks like a tidal stream. The water runs from the west. The source is upstream. Broken pipe? I mean, it could be natural. Alright, let's check it out. There's a dude up there with a puppet. Where are we? I have no idea. Well, we're just gotta be thorough. Bit of money. No boat in the boathouse today. This section of the coast hasn't been used in decades. It has magnesium and oversized superstar sunglasses. They hurt my visual calculus, though, and we're good at visual calculus. Boathouse is shoddily constructed. A strong breeze might blow it over. Got cash, though. I can't get to there, but I can come up here. Ancient paint is peeling off the roof of this shaded bench, covered in rust.
A scattering of bullet holes is spread across the cracked wall, reaching from one corner to the other.
Hey, look, Kim, even more bullet holes. Something's gone down here. Oh, well, that's a lot of bullet holes.
Correct. The density of the bullet holes is unusual. Even in a general average bullet hole frequency in Martinez sense. Grim affairs. Meaning, this is a lot of bullet holes. Looks like fully automatic rifle fire. Something you don't see these days.
Ah.
The manufacturing and sale of automatic rifles was curtailed after the revolution. The destructive power of such tools proved to be too much. We do need to retain some humanity in this world.
Gasp! Gun control. No, it's good. Why are there so many guns?
A row of ghostly shades stand facing the wall.
Look,
There
it's
are
a
many
massacre
of them,
of civilians.
a dozen at least.
Firing squad.
Their heads lowered and eyes blindfolded. It's quiet.
Maybe not civilians, but
No
prisoners
sound.
at least.
No movement. 10 meters away, other shades are lined up in an orderly manner. Automatic rifles primed. A gust of wind blows by. The coats of the firing squad flap slowly in the breeze. A single person stands on the side. Snowflakes fall on the wooden planks and the surrounding sand dunes, covering the land with the white of innocence. A long time has passed since the moment of this fusillading. Rain and brine have since washed all the blood away. Not a trace remains.
What is
The
this?
abundance of bullet holes leads to two options. Either an inordinate amount of executions were performed here, or they did not use a conscience round, where only one soldier has the loaded rifle. Looks like this was a mass execution with everyone fully armed.
I always heard it was all but one had the loaded rifles, so that you could believe you didn't do it, but they still made sure everybody was dead. In any case.
A host of men, probably in everyday clothes, ragged from the conflict and covered in dust. They were not sitting, a common practice for executions in some nations, as demonstrated by the height level of the bullet holes. They stand, facing the wall. It's impossible to discern any details about their personality or background. 7 men in combat uniforms and dark coats, holding automatic rifles aimed at the people. Soldiers from some side, but from which one? The commandant, the one who gives the order. Machine gun fire crackling through the air, the lights of the muzzle flashes dancing on his face.
Kim, who was who in this
I
execution?
don't know. I don't know who died here, lined up beside that horrible wall. It could have been any of the parties involved in the revolution.
He's right, it sounds like it pretty much could have been.
Perhaps the ones executed here were the loyalist conservatives, killed by the communists at the start of the Civil War. Or it could have been the communists, put to death during the last stretch of the conflict by the coalition forces. It could even have been the employees of the failed R&D center down the coast, as their building was taken over by the revolutionaries.
Or maybe
What about people from the coalition? The so-called moralists? No, they won, so it wouldn't have been them.
Yeah, it's very unlikely the coalition forces were the ones who died here. They were always the last ones against the wall.
Yeah.
To be honest, if a coalition member was anyone in this situation, it was a commandant, the superior giving the orders.
Exactly.
a cold sea wind blows away the figures.
Let's see what else we got here. 20 cents. Money's money. Sign says Entrée interdite. An old ticket taker booth, no longer in operation. Okay, we must be here, I think. Would explain the little soldier icons, maybe. Can't get around to the other side of that, can we? I don't think so. So we're on the boardwalk now, clearly. Door is not only barred shut, it is inaccessible. Found Pipo. +2 logic, -1 perception. Well, hold on now, that might be pretty nice. I mean, let's see, perception is very high, and is kind of handy to have. But it's hard to argue against +2 logic. Especially as we have no hat. The small wire framing inside this futuristic-looking foam peepo hat gives it the aerodynamic shape of a swoop skier's helmet, but none of its protective qualities. It covers the wearer's ears and eyebrows to bring down the drag coefficient. Maybe then I could afford to put these sunglasses on. Just overall min-maxing everything. Okay, I think that's it for up here, though. I think, well, one grisly execution site, bit of change and a hat. So what's further up here? Oh hey, dude. I wonder if these are the cryptid guys. Hold on, we'll check in a second. A buoy bobs in the water. The number on it says 11. These heavy military blockades are riddled with bullet holes, crumbling. These soggy logs smell of ignition fluid. Still, they won't light up. Tiny cage is carefully instructed. This is definitely the cryptid dude. Hi, mate. Your wife's looking for you.
Here we go. Nice and easy.
Moral.
No way out, little guys. Not out of this jam.
There's a cylinder on the ground in which the man is arranging some netting. It looks like some kind of trap. He notices you.
Who's there? Oh, the police. Hello, officers.
Is that the police? Why are the police here?
Why is one of them a cryptozoologist and the other one is a crypto-fascist? Can we just stick with the zoologist?
Don't worry, Gary. I'll handle it.
You must be Moral, the cryptozoologist?
To what do I owe the pleasure?
That's sarcasm. He takes no pleasure from your appearance.
Oh, well, Lena sent me. She's really worried about you and is waiting for you to get back.
Of course. Thank you for passing along the message. That damn water lock is broken, and we can't go all the way around the 881.
The 881 is a raised motorway that separates Martinez from Jamrock. The labyrinth of streets underneath it makes it difficult to pass, not like walking over a nice water lock.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, mate. I broke the water log with my motor carriage, but it's fixed. You can go back.
You broke the water lock with a motor carriage? There was a billboard in the canal. Not a vehicle. It said Samaran Butter.
No, see, I jumped the canal in my motor carriage, tearing into the Samaran Butter sign, which fell into the canal, blocking the gates. I used the pawn shop as a launch ramp.
Why?
It was an experiment to gauge the aerial performance of the Caprice 40. Something of a gentleman scientist.
Scientist. Yes, okay. But you said the water lock is fixed now, so we can go back.
Yep.
Did he say we can go back now?
Shut up, Gary.
Yes, Gary. We can go soon. If you see Lena, tell her I won't be long.
Sir, your wife is waiting for you.
I just have to do one more round. See if the phasmid has taken the bait. Then we're going.
He refastens a bit of netting that's come loose in
His
the wind.
hands are large and weather-worn, but also used to delicate, precise work.
Tell me about this phasmid. Your wife said something about it.
Well, first of all, it's damn difficult to find, which is why we've been knee-deep in the reeds laying traps for it.
What makes it so hard to find?
Good question. Being a phasmid of the order Phantasmodea, a ghost insect, it disguises itself as plant matter. In this case, the reeds. Awful lot of reeds around, aren't there? And I suspect it may have also developed other specialised techniques. to protect itself from predators, or scientists, in our present case.
Sort of specialized techniques.
It's my hypothesis that it has evolved certain electrochemical defenses that allow it to interfere with animal perception, impeding pattern recognition, confusing the visual cortex. But I cannot describe how these defenses work, much less how they evolved, without studying a live specimen.
A ghost insect, he said? These people are looking for a ghost.
I mean, how big is it?
I'm expecting it to be quite giant. One known species of phasmid, called the Megaphasmodea zoensis, is about the size of a grown man's forearm. So,
So you're ghost hunters?
no, that is precisely what we're not. We are zoological specialists, looking for an extant species of phasmid.
Why are you so interested in it? Aren't there more sensational animals out there?
Typical rookie assumption. Insects are much more sophisticated creatures than those unversed in zoology give them credit for. Even simply catching a glimpse of the Insulindian phasmid would be the apex of of any cryptozoologist's career. But to study it and its defenses, find out how it stayed hidden so long.
He shakes his head. Well, what do you discover?
Very little, I'm sorry to say. No one's ever captured a specimen, so all our information is based on first and third-hand accounts.
So no one's ever found one?
Not yet. That's what makes it a cryptid.
Just out of curiosity, if there's no proof of its existence, how do you know it's real?
I know it's real.
Cryptozoologist says, brusquely enough that even he seems taken aback by it.
It's clear that his obsession with the phasmid is driven by something more than the pure pursuit of scientific advancement.
By which I mean, I've heard enough first-hand accounts to believe quite firmly that the Insulindian phasmid is more than mere superstition.
Lena said there's been a sighting here in Martinez?
Yes, the most recent sighting was by a couple of teenagers along the coast here. That's what brought us to Martinez specifically. It's the first credible sighting in several decades. Admittedly, it's an unusual location for this species, but with all the sewage runoff upstream, it probably doesn't matter much anymore.
Maybe it's died out?
I have to resist the thought. Such an extraordinary creature is doubtlessly highly resilient. After all, it's generally thought to be capable of parthenogenesis.
Is that where they
He means
split
asexual
themselves in half?
reproduction. The females of the species don't need to mate to produce viable eggs. This makes it easier for a species with a small population to survive.
How clever of them.
Yes, the Insulindian phasmid is a very clever insect. That's why it's so damn difficult to catch. But as a scientist, I'll try my best to remain dispassionate.
Tell me more about these traps.
Well, they may not look impressive, but Lena designed them quite cleverly, so I'm sure they'll do the trick.
Lena designed them?
Yes,
How do they work?
simple. Attracted by the locusts, the phasmid crawls down the funnel and, having eaten its fill, can't get back out. At least, that's the intention. The net isn't a perfect solution, but we didn't want to use anything that might damage the specimen's delicate exoskeleton.
What are you using as bait?
Locusts. Nearly all known phasmids are herbivores, of course. But we've hypothesized that the Insulindian phasmid might occasionally prey on other insects.
Inside the traps, a number of locusts crawl and tumble over one another in a tiny, chittering swarm.
Why not use plants if nearly all phasmids are
Elite eating
herbivores?
stick insect. Does it pretend to be the reeds as part of its ambush behavior? This seems unlikely.
A carnivorous stick insect? I don't know, man.
Thank you for your opinion. We have also included plant material in the traps to satiate your skepticism.
What'll you do if they don't work?
They'll work, I assure you. The predatory hypothesis, using locusts as bait, accounts for the failure of previous efforts by other teams, which use plants. We have given this some thought.
The traps do seem to be deftly and thoughtfully constructed. It's clear the cryptozoologist's wife knows what she's doing.
Let me ask you something
Yes.
else.
What?
How do you become a cryptozoologist?
I've just always liked animals and puzzles. Searching for cryptids is a bit of both.
Have you ever discovered one?
No. Very few cryptids are ever discovered, and not for a lack of trying. To stay hidden is a cryptid's primary quality. It's even in the name, cryptid.
So, how many have been found?
Of the list of cryptids kept by the Cryptozoological Society of Chemney, which is 4,082 items long, about 2,000 have been confirmed as hoaxes. 2 are categorized as confirmed discoveries. The rest are in differing stages of discovery, refutation, and data collection.
2. 2 real cryptids.
Yes, the Chateau Quan forest pygmy, who turned out to be an extinct species of primate, and a cave salamander from Grad, who is, honestly, quite unremarkable. It's in a zoo somewhere.
Nice.
We cryptozoologists are brutally honest with ourselves. More so even than the public. With cryptids, most cryptids are hoaxes or they are never found. That does not mean we should stop searching.
Well, then the Insulindian phasmid will be the 3rd.
Indeed. If our expedition is successful, every paper in the world will report on it. From Revachol to Duchantu. It will be a zoological miracle.
Well, it might get like a 3rd page interest item.
The hair on your arms stand up. Electricity. Sounds like reeds hissing. He has clearly done his math on this. There is no surprising him or swaying his opinion.
So you're living the dream out here.
It's not child's play. Just because I have to traipse through the mud every so often.
Why not be, zoologist?
Real. I know you think one is a respectable profession, while the other is superstition. Everyone does.
It does seem like a lot of, wishful thinking. What the heck, seems more fun than most jobs.
My methods do not differ from other scientists. I simply draw upon a wider variety of evidence. And I have more hope that something truly surprising might happen.
You ever had anything truly surprising happen to you?
No, as I said, I have yet to catch a cryptid, although I have come close.
Interesting. Something for later, this close call.
Kinds of evidence you use.
Everything from forgotten regional lore to newspaper accounts, like the one that brought us here, to look for the phasmid. I keep a very open mind.
He's interested in things that people believe that scientists don't.
Think other scientists don't listen to ordinary people enough?
Most establishment scientists only care about reputation and remuneration, not real research, and certainly not the truth. They're a cowardly lot, and both the field and basement archives can be dangerous places.
Alright, thanks for explaining.
Yes?
Specific
All
cryptids?
right. What cryptids precisely? I usually discuss these things with specialists, so I don't know what.
We would have to discuss. He wants to say, but decides against it.
Well, which one did you almost catch? You said before you almost caught
A
one.
willow person. It's a long story. One non-specialist would find rather dull.
Willow people? Not at all.
Let's see, willow
They're
person.
not people, really. Some argue they aren't really animals, as they seem to have evolved directly from trees.
He says it in a self-explanatory, everyday manner.
They're very, very thin, almost flat in fact, and can camouflage themselves easily, wrapping themselves around trees and blending in with the tree bark. In that way, they're not too dissimilar from the phasmid we're looking for here.
So, I might have seen one without knowing it.
You probably have.
How'd you almost catch one?
Gary and I painted an entire grove's worth of trees in slow-drying paint. was a bright lavender colour. I was hoping one of the willow people would get paint on it and not be able to camouflage itself. After waiting in hiding for hours, I saw a figure slip from one of the trees, a lavender shadow dashing through the grove.
And then?
I chased it with a net. Not very elegant. You can't be elegant in the field. And, well, it was faster than me.
Well, that's a
Lavender
flaw.
shadow.
He smirks.
I know you think we were snacking on funny mushrooms. It's easier to mock someone than to admit that the world might be more interesting than you've imagined. Furthermore, I'm not saying it was a confirmed sighting. I'm painfully aware of what goes into verifying such things. There is a serious possibility that I saw a squirrel or a trick of the light. I am my own harshest critic.
He makes it a real point here to sound falsifiable.
Got anything cool?
No offence, officer, but I'm not much of a pedagogue. I don't know what I would have done if Lena hadn't persuaded me to go back to field research. You should ask her if you want interesting stories. Me? I'm not a people person, unless you haven't noticed. And I don't make a good lecturer. My strength lies in field work and persistence.
Brushes an errant strand of hair from his eye. Alright,
By all
enough.
means.
I'll get going. We're gonna have to come back and tell him to go to his wife again later, probably, but it's okay.
Hello.
So what's up? Thanks for watching, detectives. New parts will be up every other day, or you can watch live on Twitch. If you did enjoy, consider leaving a like and subscribing. And have a nice day, detectives. This is Sea Lord Jenda, signing off.